Welcome back to Kwesi Ball TV. Thank you so very much for joining me. So glad that we are back. Club football is back. We had this long break. Liverpool did not play a week before the international break weekend. So it's been longer for some of us than most. So we are very excited that football is back this weekend. Guys, please share, subscribe, and like. Don't forget a notification bell. And of course, agree or disagree, please leave a comment or two. I appreciate you guys joining us again. We're going to talk about the previews for the matches that are coming up. There are some big bangers coming up this weekend. Now, for some people, there's only 10 games left. For some people, there's only, 12 or 13 matches left. So this is the final stretch. You can't make any mistakes. You can't drop points. And it's all about getting those 3 points. We're going to start, of course, with Liverpool. Good news is Diaz is back. Today, we heard about Nunes also is back in training. Simicast was the only person that we heard had a little a rib bruise or injury during the international break. Other than that, everybody seems to have become healthy, those who went. We know that Alisson did not go. We know that Nunes did not go. Of course, Diaz couldn't go. The only person right now that we haven't heard any good news about is Thiago, and we don't know what's going on. Some people say he's going to be back sooner than later, but we were told it was supposed to be just a few days or a few weeks. It's been almost 2 months now. So we want him to have a full recovery so that he comes in and help us. Other than that, things are the same, and we go into the final stretch. Oh, of course, we knew this before the break, and that was Stefan Bajcetic was done for the season with an abductor injury. Very sad for the young man. But now we go into back to the league, and our first match is against City, our fierce rival when it comes to winning trophies. I think that is going to be a very, very entertaining match. City needs those 3 points, especially since we're playing at Etihad. They need those 3 points because they're challenging the league with Arsenal. Arsenal already put in 8 points ahead of them. So by the time the day is over, it could be 11 points because we play first. And if we were to beat them and they beat Arsenal is playing Leeds, and if Arsenal were to beat Leeds, then a lot of people would say the season is over for them. But I think City is 2 games behind Arsenal, so they got 2 games in hand, if I'm not mistaken. So anything can happen until there's like 1 or 2 games left where you have enough points where it's mathematically impossible to get caught. That's when you start celebrating. Other than that, every single game is going to be hell for everybody. Trust Liverpool fans, because we know. On the City side, we know that I think Haaland is the one that they feel like might not make it. But, we know Pep likes to, I don't see Pep playing mind games. He's not like some of these managers, but he needs Haaland for the Champions League. So I don't think he's going to risk him. It was a hamstring injury. He pulled out of the international break, and he hasn't been ready since. So I don't think that they're going to force him back. But just because Haaland is not playing doesn't mean City becomes weaker. City is very dangerous when they play their false 9, because then everybody can move anywhere. Of course, they will play Alvarez. Alvarez can move pretty fast. So him coming in as a false 9 or even on the right side and have Mahrez, KDB, Silva, they have plethora of players that can play that false 9. So this game is not far from over. And Liverpool needs this 3. So this is a match that is going, if it hits those levels of Liverpool versus City, it's going to be surprising that people won't say, why are these 2 teams are not fighting for the final, the Premier League? But Liverpool is way, way, way behind everybody. So we will see. But I think that we're going to play well. Liverpool needs to win every single match from now until the final game, because if we want to make it to the Champions League or make it to top 4, we can't drop any more points. There's no, let's get 1 point and we'll be okay. No, from now on, that's why losing to Bournemouth was such very disappointing match for us, because if we had drawn that match, you could have gone in and said, okay, you could draw against City, and then it works itself out. You could say, okay, we will challenge for Arsenal, we challenge for Chelsea. But right now we lost. So that means the next 3 games, which is City, Chelsea and Arsenal, we can't drop any point. We can't. If you ask me, I would say out of the 9, we'll probably get 7. At worst, we'll get 5. But if we end up getting no points or get 2 points or 3 points, that is basically going to seriously damage our hopes for the top 4. So this is a very, very important match that we have to get maximum points. In terms of lineup, I think the back 4 is going to be the same back 4 that played the Madrid game and the Bournemouth, which is Trent, Konate, Virgil, and Robo. Alisson, of course. The middle 3 might be different. That's what I know Fabinho is going to play because he's going to play experience. And he's going to play one youth. So I'm thinking he's going to play Elliott, and then he's going to play Henderson. And then the front 3, he probably go with the same front 3 that has been doing well lately, which is Nunez on the left, Gakpo on the up top, and then Salah on the right. To me, that's what I think the lineup he's going to go with. Bechatek is out. We don't even know about Keita. We didn't see him in training, but I think he's going to be part of the match. He's going to go to Etihad. Milner will also take part, and I think Gomez is back in training, so that will help us with the right back side. So Milner can also play in midfield. Curtis had a great international break with the under-21 or under-23 team. He played a false 9. He did very well. So I think, we still got Jota, we got Bobby. So Liverpool, in terms of changes and lineup, we are very good. It's just the midfield that is going to be lacking a little bit. So I think this game is going to be great. I'm not fearing City. When we play City, it's either we lose or we win. I'm just hoping that we win. So that's what I will go with. And City, they could go, like I say, Haaland, we'll see how Haaland go by tomorrow, then we will know what's up. Other than that, we move on to some of these matches that are coming up. Like I said, it's going to be exciting. There are some bangers, A lot of teams are playing for dear life. Some are playing for top 4. Some are playing for champion to win the league. So Arsenal, like I said, will play Leeds. And Leeds are playing for dear life. Arsenal is playing to win the league. So, and they played at Emirates. To me, that Arsenal is the favorite, unless Leeds surprise them by drawing or beating them. But Arsenal is a far favorite. If they draw points again this game, they are in trouble. Especially, it's going to go based on what they see between Liverpool and City. If City beat Liverpool, Arsenal is going to go gang home. If Liverpool beats City, Arsenal go gang home. So in a way, it works, it's a curse and a gift because they know what happened. There's no pressure on them right now because they have that 8 points on City. Bournemouth and Fulham, I think Fulham might take this one, but Bournemouth tends to do well at home. They're also fighting for their dear life, so this might be tricky for Fulham. I think this can go on Bournemouth's side or it's going to be a draw. Brighton is playing Brentford. This is a very entertaining match. Both teams are also trying to get into trying to get into Europe, which is Europa or Conference League, and there's a possibility that one of them can sneak into the top 4. So this is a very, very entertaining match. I think it's going to end up being a draw. Or Brighton, since they're playing at the Amex Stadium. Crystal Palace and Leicester, same thing. Both teams are trying not to fall into the relegation battle. So I'm telling you, man, this weekend, these games are so important for everybody. Crystal Palace have fired Vieira, so they need that new manager bounce. They didn't go well when they played Manchester United after they fired Vieira. Leicester needs to start picking up points because if they keep dropping points, they're going to fall into a relegation battle that they don't want to get into. Especially, they tend to get a lot of injuries with their players. Forest plays Wolves. Forest always plays good at home. Wolves is not playing well. They're also fighting for their dear life. So we will see. This is also just like the Crystal Palace and Leicester match. This is for dear life. Chelsea play Aston Villa at Stamford Bridge. This is going to be an entertaining match because Chelsea needs those points. They drop points during their last game before the international break where they thought they won the match and then they end up drawing. I think it was against Everton, out of all people, 2-2. And, they need to start picking up points because otherwise they're not going to be in Europe. It may help them next year, but this year, no, especially with the amount of money they've spent. I think that Chelsea is the favorite, but Aston Villa can hurt them. Sunday, of course, there's the West Ham versus Southampton. Also, both teams fighting for their life. I'm telling you, Newcastle versus Man U. Two teams that are also fighting for Champions League. Man U's in 3rd. I think Newcastle is in 5th right now. But still, things can move. Things can move. You know, mind you don't have Casemiro. That's their savior right now. So we will see. Then, of course, you know, Monday there's Everton versus Spurs, and then there's also some midweek games that are coming up because Liverpool also playing Chelsea. But we'll talk about that later. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Please share, subscribe, and like, comment. Please let me know what you think about what I said. Agree or disagree. Please just be respectful. And don't forget to share, like, and then subscribe. Notification bell, people. Kwesi Bowl, we out.